I'm Fabulosity, and today we're gonna make my famous chili. I did win an award, and I just can't find it. But I know I won first place. So here we go. I already have some pre-cooked beans. Just put them in water. I boiled them. Once they were soft, added salt, and that's it. I didn't do anything else, and I'll show you in a minute. We're also gonna use some bacon, some hot links, tomatoes, onions, and serranos. I don't know how many I'm gonna use yet because I'm only doing like half of my recipe. So we'll go from there. And of course, some Mexican longanisa. Okay, first I already opened the pack of bacon and I'm only taking out half because I don't want to use a lot of bacon. I want to, but I'm not. I am gonna start just making small pieces because I'm gonna put them to fry. And I already have my saucepan burning and ready to go. So it's about like a half an inch. So I'm gonna put all this in the pan. And if you wanna come with me, add any oil to the saucepan because it's just gonna release the bacon grease. And the bacon grease is what we're gonna continue to cook with the rest of my recipes and my rest of the ingredients, I'm sorry. So we're just gonna let this start frying. So these are the beans that I cooked last night. I want to show you. I like to use the Peruano bean because it's lighter. I added a serrano just for taste and the salt. And I made about 3 cups of beans and I just boiled it with water. Once it was soft, I added the salt and that one serrano and I let it come to a boil and then I turned it off and that was it. I don't add all that epazote, onion, garlic, salt. No, this is how you make them. How I make them. So while our bacon is frying, I'm gonna open these links, and I like the hot links because I like to add some spice to it. If you know me, you know that I like hot. Somebody made this, one of my uncles, and I was probably like 19, and I loved them. And I asked him for the recipe, and he gave it to me. I didn't make them for a long time. Then one day I decided that it was time to make my beans. I took them over to my family. Everybody loved them. And my brother-in-law, they had a competition at his work. He was, why don't you put your beans in there? I'm like, no, they're just beans. He goes, no, make them. And I won. I couldn't believe it. Did like a round, maybe less than half an inch. And I'm gonna put these to fry in the same oil that the bacon is releasing. Okay, so I'm gonna check on my bacon and I'll be right back. Okay, as you can see, there's a lot of pieces that are already done and some are not, but I'm gonna leave it in there because I want the fat to just kind of release all of that fat and make my bacon a little crispy. Because I also like it crispy. I don't like it when I bite into my chili beans that you get that piece of lard or gordo in there. I hate that. Okay, so see, so nice and crispy. Now we're just gonna take it. I'm gonna try to squeeze out as much of the oil as I can. Put them over here. Oh, it smells delicious. I love bacon. I mean, who doesn't like bacon, right?
Vegans.
Well, they're missing out. And then we're gonna add the sausage. Cut everything out. Let's put in the hot links. Okay, here we go. And the same with these. I just want them like a little brownish, not burnt or anything. Okay. Just gonna let them cook a little bit, and I'm gonna now start chopping all of my longanisa. I'm just gonna spread it out with my fingers. I just kind of slid it down the middle. Sometimes it peels off really easy, but it's fine. So they've been on low heat like for 5 minutes. You can see that they plumped out, and they're a little bit crispy, but not that much. So I'm gonna keep them that way. I'm gonna drain them as well. Put them on top of this because all this is going together anyway, so it doesn't need to be separated. Okay, and now we're gonna add the longanisa. Okay, so I'm gonna drop it in there. So I'm just gonna, in this, I do want it crispy because once I put it in there, it's gonna come back to life, actually. While the longanisa is cooking, we're gonna chop these little peppers. I like to pick them from like different spots of the bunch where they have them because I want to pick out like the spiciest ones. I'm gonna chop 3 first and then we'll go from there. I don't even take out the seeds. If you're taking out the seeds, it defeats the purpose. So we're just gonna do like little long, like the julienne. Ooh, I'm learning. So I'm gonna start out with just, these is like 2 1/2. I'm just gonna chop them up. I'm gonna try to do a light chop because I like them to disappear inside the chili. And I'm gonna check on my longanisa. As you can see, it's released a lot of the liquid, but that's okay. I put up the flame in high, as you can see. And then it's just gonna start frying because it already cooked it. Because you gotta remember, it's still pork and it's still raw meat, even if it's cured. You still want it to cook pretty good. Okay, my friends. So, as you can see, it's crispy enough that I want it out. It's still tender, like I don't want it also burnt because you don't want burnt parts in there. It smells so good. That was a creepy one.
Go ahead.
Remember, we're going to use the same grease because we're going to cook everything with it. That's where all the flavor is. You don't want to get rid of it. Yummy. About what?
About putting in 2 onions, because I didn't get that.
Okay. So I chopped up 2 onions. I think that's going to be enough. But if I need more, I will add more. But it does look like a really good consistency. Look at that. Oh my God, this is delicious. Okay, and then I'm going to add the tomatoes and the serrano peppers that I also chopped. Tomatoes are going to be in squares. And it doesn't really matter because guess what? They're going to get mushed up. I'm going to keep them in the heat until they kind of dissolve. I'm just going to do about maybe 5 or 6. And then we'll... So I am going to call out someone who told me they were going to make a video with me and hasn't called or reached out. So I'm calling you out, Lalo, that giant. So I'm calling you out. You got to tell me when, because he's going to make his famous hot dogs, he said. So we'll see. I know you all know who he is. He's got the sweetest mom and sisters. Okay, I'm gonna add all this to my onions. Como la bandera mexicana. There we go. Just gonna push everything in. Okay, and then to this, I am gonna add a little bit of salt. Not a lot, because remember the bacon has a lot of salt. And I already added salt to the beans. Ah. We're going to mix everything in. Oh, it smells delicious. So I'm just kind of smashing the tomato with my spoon, so that they can start releasing all of their juices. And we're almost ready to build these. Oh my God, it's delish. See how when I crump down on them, they just kind of smash? Because that means they're ready. Okay, so we're going to start putting in all the meats. So this is the longanisa, the sausage and the bacon. And everything is going to go in there. Look at that. How delicious does that look? You want everything, all those crummies. Get inside. Alright, I'm going to start flipping everything. So the beans are already hot as well. So that way they don't get shocked. Look at that. Look at my beans, how delicious they look. How creamy. Okay, now we're going to add all of the rest of the yummy stuff. I'm going to spoon it in. And then as we go. Okay, I'm ready to just... So it's also convenient. You don't have to dirty a lot of dishes or anything. I did everything in this one single pot. There you go. God, this is so good. I have all my kids here and they're all, their mouths are watering. Well, just two of them. Look at that. I'm just gonna let them marry together. All the spices and all the juices and everything. And then I'm gonna taste. I wanna make sure that doesn't need salt, or if it needs salt, this is where we're gonna add it in. I came back, I tasted them, and they needed a little bit of salt. So I went ahead and put in about a tablespoon of salt, but not sopera, just kind of like even. And I let them come to a boil again. And now we're just gonna plate it. Look at this. Look at this. So good and delicious. Of course, these are gonna be better tomorrow because the bean breaks down, everything gets kind of like mushy and it tastes delicious. So I simmered this at the end. I think it was a good 20 minutes so that all the flavors can marry together. But like I said, everything tastes better like the next day. So got some fresh quesito. I'm just gonna put on top of it. You can put a little bit, a lot. You can put yellow cheese, mozzarella cheese, any kind of cheese you want. And I chopped up a few little onions for crunch because I love it. And then I always make hot sauce and I always make habanero sauce. So I'm gonna add like about a tablespoon to mine. And if you guys want this recipe, I will be more than happy to give it to you. So I'm gonna mix in. I want you to see my plate, all the goodness that's in here.
Yeah.
You can see the onions, the pepper. Got some bacon, some sausage. Everything's in here. And I mixed all the cheese and everything, and now we're just gonna taste it. My first bite. You can taste the tomatoes, the bacon, the onion. The beans are delicious. Definitely a really good plate. Kind of everything's already in there. You got the meat, the vegetables, milk, the protein, everything. So, thank you so much for following me. For all of my subscribers. Thank you for all of your comments. I love hearing from you. And again, it's Fabiola Gomez. And I'm at Instagram at Fabulosity. Go ahead and follow me. Like all of my videos. And don't forget to subscribe. And I'll see you next time for our next wonderful video. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.